Well, welcome back to another episode of the Mets'd podcast. Absolutely horrible, disgusting, terrible, unacceptable performance by the New York Mets this week against the Atlanta Braves. The Braves were ready to die. That team was a corpse waiting to be put in their casket, buried underground. And the Mets said, what if? What if we gave you some life? What if we gave you some oxygen? What if we gave you some bones, some skin, some tissue, and kept your season alive? Because that's exactly what they did. The Mets went into Atlanta and played one of the worst series that I can remember in recent history. Unfortunately, you know what the last worst series that I can remember was of recent time?
In Atlanta, 2022.
In Atlanta. What in the world happens in that hellish city where the Mets as a team play like such crap? I look back at how we won game 161 last year, and I still am in such shock that the baseball gods allowed us to come back in that game the way that we did, to allow Francisco Lindor to hit that home run. Edwin Diaz fucked up, and we still won that game. I can't even believe that we got that one. Maybe that was the baseball gods giving us one, but boy, oh boy, did we play horribly, and we're going to talk about it. I don't know if you guys really want to listen. I don't blame you. It was rough. You just watched three, again, of the worst games the Mets have played in a long time. Three of the worst games, without a doubt, that they've played this season. That was terrible. Mets are not playing well. We'll talk about it. Make sure you follow us on all our social media. Mets Up on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Subscribe to the Mets Up Podcast YouTube channel if you want to see the video version of this. And if you're listening to us, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, drop us a rating, drop us a review, download, and subscribe. James, how are you feeling? How's it feeling over back in New York as I'm in Las Vegas watching this one?
Horrible. I was having the thought today, like you just said, I was like, what's the worst series the Mets have ever played before the All-Star break? Because this feels like that. Like this brought me back to that. This brought me back to that series against the Braves 2022. This brought me back to the Phillies series, the Chase Utley walk-off in 2007. Like this was that bad of a series that really felt like it ripped your entire, like all of your guts out. Do you want to do a 10-minute rant? Do you want to put the timer on the clock? You want to just go for it?
I don't want to do 10 minutes. I just want to rant the whole time. And if the people are upset with that, they can let us know in the comment section. They can let us know in the replies. They can tweet at us. But I think for me and you, who I'd say are pretty rational and calm fans, 99.99999% of the time, this is the one time I think we're going to be a little bit ridiculous and just kind of yell and scream for as long as we want to, because that was an absolute fucking shit show. That was terrible, top to bottom. Every single person was terrible.
Yeah, I'm fucking pissed off because like the thing that always stops us from ranting and getting mad is that, like, all right, if you play well and you lose, you can't really do shit about that. But the Mets did not play well and they got swept, and they made bonehead plays. Like it's a combination of not showing up and playing like shit. Like those two things together at one point, then you can't beat a team. And like you said at the top, like you had a chance where if you can kind of like put your elbow into the Braves, like you can kind of put them in the dirt a little bit. Like you can kind of bully them around a little bit. And the exact opposite thing happened. This Braves team was reeling. I don't know if anyone out there has any connection to any Braves fans. If you guys see any Braves stuff on Twitter from their like little inbred cohort. But if you ever got any of that stuff on your timeline, you saw the things that they were saying over the last couple of weeks, you wouldn't even recognize that team, that fan base, that organization, because they thought they were dead in the water. And all the Mets did this exact series is rebirth them, bring them back to life. It reinvigorate them with new energy because they're back on now. Their season's good to go. They reshuffled their whole rotation. So we would have to face Schwellenbach, Sale, Strider in these 3 games. And you know what? It fucking worked. They played the huge card against the Mets this series, being like, we need to beat the Mets 3 times to give us even from a 1% chance at division to like a 4% chance at division. They made that change to do that, and it worked. They did it. They make up 3 games, and now only 5 games away from 500 when you had them dead in the water. And you got to the season, the first exactly 69 games of the season, you were playing incredible baseball nonstop. It was clean. It was tight. Sure, there wasn't a lot of hits or runners in scoring position, but you always found enough hits to win games. You pitched well enough to win games. The bullpen was good. The defense was good. Every single good thing the Mets did for the first 69 games this season in the last 6 games has completely disillusioned right now. It's all gone. Not disillusioned. That's the wrong word. Dissolved. Everything is gone right now. They're not. The worst part about watching the series, you played dog shit baseball, and that's the part I'm pissed off about.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going on in New York again because I'm not home, so I can't watch any SNY or whatever's going on with the local sports. But
Gary was fucking disgusted at the end of this game.
Yeah, if anyone's bringing up the fact that the Mets are still 10 games up on the Braves, I want you to throw a right hook at them. Pop them right in the face. Because I don't give a fuck that it's a 10-game lead on June 19th. That means absolutely nothing. We saw this Mets team last year look like they were dead in the water, and they got life, and they built it back up, and they made a run to the NLCS. The fact that the Mets did not, like you said, stick the knife and twist it in their back of the Atlanta Braves is something that is concerning me right now. The fact that they showed up in Atlanta to what has been, and I don't care again what the Braves record was coming into the series, what is the biggest series of the year, the fact that they laid such a fucking egg is a concern to me. And that's the first time that I've legitimately felt concerned about this team. Top to bottom, Mendoza, Hefner, Chavez, everybody in the field, front office, everybody had a fucking bad series. And that's not something that we've seen very often in this era of David Stern, Steve Cohen.
How many times have the Mets been genuinely challenged this year? Like the Phillies series in April, the
but
Yankee
they also,
series.
like they were challenged in April, and we swept them.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm talking about like how many times the team actually been challenged. Like they got challenged in April by the Phillies. You swept the Phillies. You had the Yankee series. You kind of lay an egg there. The back-to-back against the Dodgers last couple weeks,
and you played well. It was just the ones against the Dodgers. They were winning all those games, and they blew them.
You still blew a few of them.
There's something right now, and I'm. This is maybe me being a little bit upset. Had a couple drinks in Las Vegas, so I'm a little upset too. But like, there's something that stinks right now. I don't know exactly what it is that stinks with this team. It's not a major issue, but there is something in the room that smells. I don't know what it is. I don't know who's got to take out the garbage, but they have to fucking drop it, especially because we have the Phillies this weekend. You can't continue to play shit baseball. You just gave up the division lead right now. You're going into the series with a complete tie with the Phillies in the NL East. You have to wake up. You cannot keep playing this way. It is unsustainable. It is unacceptable, and they are better than this. That is the most frustrating thing, and you said it. They played bad baseball. The thing that makes us be sane in the past is that we know this team's good, and they play good baseball and you lose. That's going to happen. You're going to lose 60, 70 games sometimes in a season if you're one of the best teams in the league. But the fact that they laid such a fucking egg, it's got a bad taste in my mouth right now.
There's definitely an honest conversation that has to happen, too, about how good are the Mets? Like, how good is this team? Because now that we're watching the pitching regress, now that we're watching this team play without Kodai Senga,
they need a pitcher.
I mean, they need probably 2, maybe 3.
Paul
Blackburn,
how much more can he pitch against good baseball teams? That was horrible.
I'll say this. Most of that Paul Blackburn start was bullshit, though. You know what I mean? Like, Acuna hits the piss rock at the first pitch of the game. Then it was Luis Torrens not catching the ball, sack flies, nonsense. Yeah. But I'm saying, like, in terms of the things that went wrong in the series, Paul Blackburn's like 11th on the list.
I guess fair.
Like, he didn't pitch well, but he didn't get lit on fire. Like after the first pitch, I thought he was going to get lit on fire, but that wound up being one of the stranger 3 2/3 inning starts I've ever seen in my life.
And truthfully, at the end of the day, while Game 3 was a pitching thing, Game 1 was a pitching thing, it does still all come back to the fact that the Mets are not able to score runs at the rate that they should be. The fact that when runners in scoring position come on, they fucking tighten up, they become small, they have no dog, they have the smallest dicks in the world. Like they play like such fucking losers when there's runners in scoring position. And I hate to keep harping on this, but at some point, when are we going to make a fucking change with the hitting guys? Because whatever Eric Chavez and Jeremy Barnes, I'm calling Jeremy Barnes out too. How have both of them not figured out what the fuck is wrong? How many times is it going to take? Because those guys continue to have their jobs and nothing fucking changes. We got more quotes from Pete in the last couple weeks talking about how he doesn't listen to Chavez. Jeremy Barnes said, we don't have that info for him. What the fuck do you mean? How is that possible?
It's also partially the fact that this Mets lineup, and we didn't really anticipate this coming to the season because we thought much higher Francisco Alvarez. Now we don't have Brett Baty. Brian Rizzo's up and down. Mark Vientos has been absentee. The bottom of the order drops out quickly. So it's very hard to sustain any kind of legitimate rally. And especially right now at the top, and Francisco Lindor talked about this openly after Game 2 of the series, hard for the team to win. The leadoff hitter's not getting on base. Francisco Lindor has not gotten on base for about a week straight. Since he broke that toe and he's tried to play through it, it seems like it might be affecting him, especially more so at the plate than in the field. And this was a situation that we talked about 2 weeks ago where he had a great opportunity to take the minimum of 10 days off of the injured list when you had 10 consecutive games against the Rockies and Nationals. 10 games where we won all 10 of them, right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah.
No, we lost one. Whatever happened. No, we won every game, of course. We beat the Nationals at home. We beat the Rockies every game at home. So we won all those games.
We were on a nice win streak.
It was a nice moment where Lindor had the game-winning hit with the broken toe, the pinch hit in Colorado. But it's not that bad of an idea that when you are injured, take some time off. Again, this is not the biggest issue right now, but this bottom of the lineup does fall off quickly. So whenever you can't sustain any level of rally, it goes away. And truthfully, there were a lot of bad big moments of the series. But I want to call to attention, I thought was the game-changing moment of this series actually in the middle of game one. And it wasn't anything had to do with David Peterson. It wasn't the Reed Gary that bat to Marcell Ozuna, which I want to parse apart and get deep into at some point in this episode. It was the Pete Alonso piss rocket to right field in the top of the ninth inning. After Juan Soto hits the leadoff single, Alonso again hits the rocket to right field, where Ronald Acuna Jr. makes a leaping catch, an incredible play that is made by an incredible baseball player. And this was a good reminder of the series about how good Ronald Acuna Jr. is at baseball and how when this whole division, this whole league is different when he's playing. But he hits that rocket, and it was hit at such a strange angle where, based on where Acuna's body was and where the ball was, Juan Soto on first base couldn't see the ball. Also, because of that angle, the first base umpire, the umpire that had to make the call, couldn't see the ball. And there was a moment of hesitation, both on Juan Soto's part and then the umpire's part, where no one made a call. And then after a moment, Juan Soto probably took too many steps closer to the second base because it looked like that ball was going to drop and find a way. He winds up freezing. He puts his hands up. He's like, I don't see it. Ronald Acuna throws back, doubles him up. Soto pouts a little bit. The first base umpire, though, on the replay, which SNY showed so kindly, did hesitate for about a moment, which is a huge deal in a play like that, and not make the call. And in that second right there, after Marcell Ozuna hits the double down the line, ties the game, you could have easily had second and third, no outs, man on second with a run home. You kind of would jump back in the game. But Acuna making that catch, doubling off Soto, theoretically ended the inning as it was beginning. That, to me, was the psyche-changing moment of this series. Once that happened, and you have Chris Sale, then Spencer Strider, it felt much worse after that than it did before it, even after the Mets blew a 4-run lead the inning before.
If you're a card collector, even if you're not, and you just want to find a new way to collect, Arena Club is the spot. AJ just opened up a slab pack. He screen recorded on his phone so you can all see what he just experienced. Take us through it.
It was simple. I just clicked on which slab pack I wanted, clicked buy now, boom, bought it. Card little pack starts spinning. You hit open, and then it goes all psychedelic on you. It gets a little funky. And then the card appears, and I got a Robin Yount rookie card.
Yeah, you did.
Pretty awesome.
And then right after that experience, I saw the little buyback, and you said, nah, I'm going to hold on to this for now.
I'm going to hold on to this. Robin Yount's in the Hall of Fame. He's not getting any more rookie cards, so I'm going to stick with it for a little bit and see if the price might start going up a little bit.
Yep, you can track that. And, of course, if you do want to do the buyback, then you can instantly sell it right back to Arena Club, get yourself another slab pack, buy a card, whatever it is. This is the spot for collectors these days. And you can use the code FOUL, F-O-U-L, to get yourself 20% off your first slab pack or card purchase at arenaclub.com/foul.
I think that was the moment where I was watching and I went, fuck. I was like, uh-oh. That was the uh-oh moment for me. That was like...
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Things have changed. The big shifting point, though, of the game was David Peterson walking Nick Allen. And David Peterson's awesome, and this is not taking down David Peterson at all. He's been incredible, and he's a beast. I'm maybe in the minority where I've seen a lot of baseball Twitter, Mets Twitter specifically said David Peterson shouldn't have started the inning. I disagree. I think given the inning, he was pitching really well. The problem is you cannot walk Nick Allen, who for all intents and purposes is a AAA, maybe AA hitter. He's not a good baseball player. He can play shortstop.
Good fielder.
He can play shortstop completely fine, but he cannot hit. He is not much of a better hitter than, I don't know, Joey Wendell or Zach Short or Jose Iglesias. Well, Jose Iglesias at least hits for average. Nick Allen's never even hit for average. Walking him was bad. Doubled down on the issue that we then left David Peterson in to face Ronald Acuna Jr. After a walk to Nick Allen, which again, can't happen. It's unfathomable to ever walk a guy like Nick Allen. That's like basically facing me or you in the box right now. It's not really much of a challenge. Then to leave him in for Ronald Acuna.
Can you guess Nick Allen's OPS for his entire career through 310 games? 1,000 plate appearances.
611.
Do you want to get mad?
Yeah.
542.
Oh, it's way worse. Oh, it's so much worse.
But again, everything you're saying right now is true. Walking Nick Allen's inexcusable.
Well, that was the shift change.
Him. But that was the shift change, but it wasn't like the moment change. Because when you walk Nick Allen, again, if this was handled correctly, Dave Peterson's out of the game to face Ronald Acuna Jr.
That's
that
what
was
I'm
the
saying.
problem.
Now it all snowballed. And this is what typically happens with the Mets in Atlanta, is that one mistake leads into two mistakes, leads into four mistakes, lead into all of a sudden the Braves have tied this baseball game up, and we're like, what the hell just happened? We were in such control, but also, at the same time, while those mistakes happen, the Mets offense disappeared again for 5 or 6 innings. Like they just there's innings where the Mets go up there, and it's part of the reason is because of the bottom of the order is so uncompetitive right now. But there's innings where the pitcher gets to get back into a rhythm, and it bleeds out into the top of the order because 7, 8, 9 just don't even give you competitive at bats at this point.
Weirdly, there was a comparison to this exact scenario in the second game of the series when Chris Sale nearly threw a complete game shutout against the Mets compared to David Peterson in the first game of the series, where when Chris Sale got on the mound in the 9th inning, he went 3-1 the first hitter of the inning. I think it was Pete. It might have been Pete because Nimmo was up second or third, whatever it happened to be. The Mets shifted the lineup a lot in the second game of the series with lefty on the mound. But the second at bat got 3-1, Brian Snitker immediately called the bullpen. And then I think it was Pierce, Johnson, Dylan Lee, whoever's, Raisel Iglesias, one of those guys, whoever closes the game for Atlanta, ran to warm up in the bullpen and get pitches in. And that at bat didn't wind up in a walk, but then Nimmo hits the cue shot, and then the reliever comes in the game, closes out for Sale, who got it in 2/3 scoreless. When that Nick Allen at bat was getting out of hand, I think it got to 3-1. There was still no warming up in the bullpen. So if there's no warming up in the bullpen when the bat is 3-1, there's no warming up when the inning begins. Now I understand that part because you want to instill confidence in your pitcher. If you tell David Peterson you have the 8th inning, and then second the inning starts, Reed Garrett is throwing in the bullpen, that's kind of a mixed message. There's a mental aspect of that. With the second you have 2 balls on the guy, tell Reed Garrett start throwing fast, then you take a mound visit, then you let him get in the game. That's kind of the game within the game. But when there was no one warming up in the bullpen, there was no one else to face Ronald Acuna Jr. There was no one else to face Ronald Acuna Jr. He gets to face David Peterson for a 4th time. When he gets to face David Peterson for a 4th time, and the first 2 at-bats, 2 walks, 2 walks, and I think the strikeout, whatever that third at-bat was, so that was like my favorite moment of the game when the Mets were still playing well.
No, that was so
That was
sick.
so good. There was he was hitting the quadrants. Ronald Acuna Jr. was looking back at him. It was the cat and mouse game that makes baseball so beautiful. But you get through that one, to face him a 4th time after that, you're asking a fuck ton out of your pitcher. Something that you probably shouldn't be asking him, especially when not that you need to win a game, especially not at the time, but you're winning by a lot. You can put fires out easily when you're winning by 3 runs.
Yes.
Suddenly, when there's multiple guys on base, it's much harder to put that fire out against the top of this Braves lineup, which, again, thank God that Brian Snitker keeps hitting Alex Verdugo towards the top of this Braves lineup.
White, yeah.
But I'm saying, they're giving us outs. They're giving you chances, and you're still able to fuck that up.
That's what's so annoying.
Even when Reed Garrett comes in the game with multiple men on base, he gets to 2 outs, no runs in with Marcell Ozuna at the plate. He gets into 2 strikes, and he dinks a splitter, a check swing. Keith was like, oh, he got so lucky on that one because he got his bat head barely through the zone, and he gets a teeny tiny piece of it. And then this was another big moment of the series because now we got to talk about Francisco Alvarez. I'm sure you guys are waiting for us to talk about Francisco Alvarez. The communication between Alvarez and Reed Garrett. I think objectively, Francisco Alvarez as a catcher calls a good baseball game. And I want to know what you think about this. After Marcell Ozuna dinks the splitter, 2-2 pitch, there's a dispute whether we're calling a fastball or a splitter. Reed Garrett wants to go fastball. He's figuring in his mind, after Marcell Ozuna barely makes contact in the splitter, I think I can blow the fastball by him. Alvarez is like, hey, he looked like shit against that splitter. If you execute this pitch, he's going to swing and miss again. If they went with the Alvarez splitter, the splitter did not split, got on the side of it a little bit. Ozuna is able to yank the double down the line, scores all 3 runs after Francisco Lindor bobbles the relay throw. The openness that Francisco Alvarez had after the game, just talking about that, I thought was at the same time, 1, cool and sad, but 2, objectively, I think in that exact moment, I wonder what you think, I'd rather throw Marcell Ozuna a splitter than 94-mile-an-hour fastball.
I'm choosing fastball. Reason being, because of how late and tardy his swing was on that splitter, he was sitting splitter the entire time. He was worried about splitter. He was ready for splitter. The fact that he was able, like if that splitter was a 94-mile-an-hour fastball, the one that he kind of just like doinked off foul on the latest swing I think I've ever seen, he doesn't hit the baseball. It's in the glove. It's past him. I think that was the approach. I think his approach was, you're not going to beat me with a splitter. I'm going after your best pitch. I think you're going to throw your best pitch. And it's one of those times where it's like the pitching backwards for Reed Garrett hurt him in a way because he throws the splitter so often and throws it so much. That was the expected pitch. I know I'm saying he called for the fastball, but I'm just saying overall in the scheme of it, the backwards pitching of throwing the splitter more than he does the fastball, that's where it came back to hurt him. The thing I will say, I think it's an excusable mistake, though. That wasn't the most egregious thing that happened in this game. I wish it was a fastball Monday morning. Alvarez. Yeah, exactly. Monday morning quarterback says you should have gone fastball. But at the end of the day, Reed Garrett's splitter, if Reed Garrett's splitter, if he throws it the way it does, he's going to swing and miss. That splitter's disgusting. So that's why I'm not jumping on Alvarez. I still think fastball was the right pitch, but there were, again, more egregious mistakes and errors just by Francisco Alvarez in this game alone.
Yeah, not jumping on Alvarez for that pitch call in that exact moment specifically, because that was a splitter that just sat. Like, that splitter is executed. That splitter just was middle in. Like, that was easy.
Yeah.
Marcell Ozuna had to do
him.
nothing to hit a double. Yeah, it's just, but that's just kind of the way the shit's going for the Mets
That's
right now.
baseball,
Then again,
Susan.
Then you have that moment in the ninth inning with Soto getting hung off base. Edwin Diaz gets through a ninth inning, and then we have a 10th inning where Jared Young strikes out with a guy on second base on 3 pitches, and he looked terrible doing it.
Yeah,
looked bad
Jared
to the
Young,
point
I think,
where I'm like,
send him down.
Possibly at that point. And then the Francisco Alvarez plate appearance, which I think is being overlooked because of how bad the play was he had in 10th inning, where he took a sinker to start the at-bat against Raisel Iglesias, and then he just swung through a fastball right down the middle, just totally missed it.
So
and
late.
And then he is able to get the count back to 3-2, and then he gets a 3-2 changeup again, right down the middle. Drops the shoulder, pops the ball up, slams his bat on the ground. Clearly, obviously, and understandably really pissed off that you just squandered the chance to take a lead in this game when that's a pitch where you think 2 years ago Francisco Alvarez probably goes 425 feet into the left field stands. Then you get to the 10th inning. Thank God we walk in Ronald Acuna Jr. to start the inning. You get a pop-up from Alex Verdugo because, again, we have a gift. We have a gift that he's hitting second in this lineup. We had the moment we actually could get ahead this game. And then Matt Olson comes up. Huascar Brazaban's clearly nibbling because Huascar Brazaban nibbles for a month now straight. And then you get the pass ball in front of Francisco Alvarez. Pops over his shoulder. Can't find it. It's got Luke Williams hung up between second and third. Mark, as a world-renowned middle school catcher, early high school catcher, what do you do in that situation when there's a pass ball and there's a runner hung up between second and third?
Yeah, so what happens is you throw to the base that they're running to, because at the absolute worst, if you throw the ball to third base, which is where Luke Williams was going, you can run him back to second base, and he's exactly where he was, and there's no damage done. The fact that Francisco Alvarez threw that ball to second base is unfathomable. You never get taught that. That's not an instinctual thing. That was a brain fart. That was a shit the bed moment.
It was a freak out. It was a freak out.
He is so mentally fucked right now. He legitimately should get sent down. I don't think him being at the majors right now is doing him any benefits. I don't think the Mets are a better team right now with him at the major league level.
It is summertime. We are in the thick of golf season. It's always golf season down in Florida, but we're in the thick of golf season across the country. And if someone's looking to get a new club, that logo should say it all. PXG. What do they do?
Go get fitted.
Mm-hmm.
Go get fitted by one of their master fitters, professional fitters. I've done it. It's helped shave many strokes off my handicap. It is worth it. It's educational. You learn about not only clubs, you learn about shafts, you learn about grips, you learn about angles. They have all the numbers, all the setups that you need to help improve your handicap.
You feel like a VIP when you're there.
100%. They even helped my putting, which needed help.
Mm-hmm. There. They help your putting there.
There.
That's how cool it is. So schedule your fitting today, and for a limited time, you could save up to 20% on your entire order. Head over to pxg.com/foul. That's pxg.com/foul to save up to 20% on your entire order. pxg.com/FOUL. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
What if I told you that he has a higher batting average on base percentage than Luis Torrens?
Luis Torrens is still a better catcher. I know game 2 he had the worst defensive game of his entire career. We knew, me and you have known Torrens is not the hitter that Alvarez can be. We're well aware of that. Torrens' bat is one of the weirdest things ever because he hits the ball hard, but he still doesn't really get hits or do any damage per se. But defensively, he's awesome, and especially with throwing out base runners, he's the best in baseball. There's nobody in the same class as him. Freddie Fermin, whatever, who cares? The problem is now that Francisco Alvarez has nothing. He's not hitting well. He's not playing good defense. There's no benefit to him, and it feels like he's pressing to such a level that there's no benefit to him or the team to have him playing at the major league level right now. Right now, in 2025, he is not a Major League Baseball player. Do you agree or disagree?
It's not that I disagree. I was just frustrated that he was even in the lineup on Thursday because I think it was a golden opportunity to give a guy like Alvarez multiple days off. You have a bunch of night games. Like if you have a day game today, I understand playing Alvarez. You don't want to catch the play a day game after a night game. This is a golden opportunity. Be like 3 days off. Carlson does. You sit Francisco Alvarez down. You say, hey, take a deep breath. Take 3 deep breaths. Take 12 deep breaths. Get back in the lineup on Saturday night or Saturday afternoon. Right now, take a few days because it's bad. It was really bad. The way that he ended that game on Tuesday night, it was a freak out. It was like an anxiety attack almost. And then watching him do the interview after the game, it was just like he's sullen, like he's sad. Like this is an upset man. Like this is someone who's doesn't feel like or look like or act like the same player that we saw.
I'm going to point fingers real quick. Imagine as a 21-year-old catcher, one of the youngest catchers ever in Major League Baseball history. Your hitting coach, after hitting 20-plus home runs in a season, tells you, not a good year. Terrible year. Not a good year. We got to fix things. It's absolutely insane. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine a world where that exists, where that happens? And, I'm going to blow your mind. That world exists. We live in that world because that's what Eric Chavez fucking did. That alone should get him fired.
I'll even expound on this because I think that Eric Chavez deserves a portion of this blame, but definitely not all of the blame. What about someone like Francisco Alvarez who watches J.D. Martinez hit and is like, you know what? I want to be that. I want to be him. But then you look at the difference in the for lack of a better term, body type between Francisco Alvarez and J.D. Martinez. You see a tall guy, long arms, long levers, a very different way of hitting than the self-acclaimed troll that's over here, who is like, think about two boxers.
It's like an inch taller than me.
That's what I'm saying. Think about two guys who are trying to box. One has really long arms, one has really short arms. The one with long arms should have a different strategy to beat their opponent than the one with the short arms, right? When you have the long arms, you're allowed to let the ball travel more. You can access balls on the outside by standing further away from the plate. You know what I mean? You use your long levers to access different parts of the plate. When you're short, hitting and boxing, you got to get up there. You got to be tight. You got to be fast. You got to be quick. You got to get up in somebody's grill, not let them breathe. That's what Alvarez did well. That's what he was able to do. Watching him, those old highlights from 2023, what a horrible season, what a great moment for him. And people are like, oh, he didn't have a 300 batting average that year. Fuck you. He was a 21-year-old catcher. He is one of the greatest seasons for a catcher under 22 years old in the history of baseball. It's a fucking hard position. I'm going to say it every single episode because I don't think you or I are even close to like the people in the world being like, oh, Francisco Alvarez, get him out of here. It's bullshit.
No, I think he should be sent down for a little bit just to reset. It's a reset thing for me.
I think the reset should have been to get 3 days, 72 hours on the bench at the major league level. You can actually
it's possible that too.
Talk to Francisco Lindor. I don't really want to watch Hangin' Sanger play right now. I'll be honest with you.
I agree because he's terrible, but like also at the same time,
he's not terrible. He's okay, but it's like it's a third catcher for a reason.
Francisco Alvarez might need to just like beat the shit out of like Dylan Bundy. Yeah, just beat the fuck out of Dylan Bundy and whoever the fuck else is pitching in AAA right now. Like he just, for his psyche, might need to be like, oh yeah, that's right. I'm good. I'm better than the guys here. People. Yeah, just beat the shit out of him. He might need it.
All right, that part of it, I do agree with you on that. But I just think that at the major league level, he's so much better than the next option. It's hard to send him down. But it's just, there's the most ironic part of this whole thing is that the next day, Luis Torrens gets on the field and plays one of the worst defensive games I've ever seen any baseball player play. And there's nothing bad about Luis Torrens. We're still champion Luis Torrens to the All-Star game train. Using the helmet and getting the exact term. What was the terminology of that rule? Like in illegal use of detached equipment. Where I remember a couple of years ago, and I saw his tweet in the Mets community, where Pico Armstrong kept his helmet on the base and that counted for him to be safe. But again, it was the rule. You can't touch any ball.
It's the old rule too. Where it's like you can't throw technically it's a good play, but if there's a home run and you or a ball hit and you throw your glove up and it hits the ball, it's a ground rule triple. It's an automatic triple, which
that's a good
on a ball that's a home run, you should try it every single time. I actually wish players would start just every time the ball's pissed over their head, just throw their glove up, fire it, hope it hits. Triple, great play. But yeah, I mean, I've never seen that. Two, can't believe he did it.
No, it was just, that was bad. There were other pass balls as well. This is what I was saying about the Paul Blackburn having, where that run scores on the Acuna. Then there's a couple hits, and again, I'm not defending Paul Blackburn. I'm just saying, in terms of things that went wrong in the series.
He's looked terrible also.
No, I'm not saying he's good, but I'm saying in terms of things that went wrong in the series, I said confidently and assuredly, he was the 11th most worrisome in this entire thing.
I think we've named 10, so yeah.
Seeing Jose Budo in the same moment when Paul Blackburn comes out of the game, walk Nick Allen again, the 9-hitter.
I know.
A ball that Luis Torrens couldn't block, and Ozzy Albies gets to score in a wild pitch as you walk the 9-hitter, and then get a fly ball out from Ronald Acuna. It's like, what the fuck is going on right now? How bad can this team be playing baseball? It's just... That game on Tuesday, though, on Wednesday, you're never sometimes you run into a pitcher's going to rip your soul out. That's what Chris Sale did.
Pitched well. Yeah.
Whatever. He pitched well. The Mets couldn't do jack shit against him. He made that diving play in the 9th inning on the ball that was in the hole just because he wanted the complete game shutout so badly. It's like, all right, whatever. Again, that's a buzzsaw. Rips our soul out. No big deal. Same shit happens again Thursday, though. It's like, what the fuck? What the actual fuck, guys? You have Spencer Strider, on the ropes in the first few innings. This is a guy that multiple times in his career has kind of shit down his leg against the Mets when he was a better pitcher. This version of Spencer Strider is not the 2022 version of Spencer Strider right now. It isn't. It's still a very good pitcher, but it's not that guy. Like, you have first and second in the first. Ryan Mauricio gets the RBI single in the second. Brandon Nimmo hits a leadoff double in the third. You don't get another hit until the ninth inning of this game. The leadoff hit man of the third inning until the ninth inning, you do not get a hit against Spencer Strider in the Braves bullpen. The Braves bullpen is one of the worst in baseball's entire season. Yeah. Spencer Strider retires 12 of the last 13 batters he faces. At the same time, Clay Holmes is fucking horrified to throw a strike. I feel like I'm watching the 2022 Mets and Chris Bassett again, where God damn, this sucked so badly. It was 6 walks from Clay Holmes. He was scared of every single fucking lefty he faced.
I know, and it's just like, dude, like, throw strikes. Your stuff's good. Your stuff's nasty.
But he was scared of the lefties. He couldn't spot the changeup. He was missing with the cutter, that Olsen at bat, and with the Drake Baldwin at bat right after.
Bro.
In the fifth
like,
inning,
throw a fastball.
He didn't throw any fast. He threw one fastball in this game, and all of those at bats in that fifth inning, as Matt Olson walks easily, and then Drake Baldwin walks. Credit to Drake Baldwin, he fouled off a few tough pitches. But then in 2-2. Clay Holmes misses high with a changeup, and then so fucking wide cutter and so fucking wide with a sinker. Doesn't trust the changeup anymore at that point after he missed with a few of them to Olsen. It's just like, you're going to go down this game on walks, and Oscar Brasman comes in the game, doesn't even throw a single strike for 9 straight hitters. And it's like, now what are we supposed to do here? And then it's 7-1 before you can blink an eye. When it was still 2-1 in this game, the Braves, or 3-1 at this point, because that was the walk to Albies, the Braves only had 3 hard hit balls when it was still 3-1 in this game. You have an easy chance to come back against a terrible bullpen. Just Hageman comes in, throws fucking batting practice. Matt Olson's a piss shot off the wall. It's just like, what? He didn't throw any strikes. That was such a bad outing from Clay Holmes. The first 4 innings were decent. It's just like, he fell so apart there when these lefties got to see him for a third time. There was nothing left in the tank.
But he also didn't give himself a chance. Like, he didn't make competitive
that's what I'm
pitching.
saying. Like, he didn't give himself a shot.
It's like, dude, you believe in yourself. And I don't, like, this so lame, believe in yourself. I hate that I even said that. But also at the same time, like, the stuff's good. We've seen it. Have some fucking balls. And that's kind of the overarching theme of this entire series. No balls, no tea, no dog, fucking pussies. That's just really what it was. They were fucking pussies this series.
I'm sure you weren't watching with volume, but Gary was disgusted at the end of this game. He was
I was going to say, I jumped in Vegas, 107 degrees right now. It's so fucking hot here. It's ridiculous.
The sun burns. Rockaway.
Yeah, the sun burns. I saw Clay Holmes walk Drake Baldwin. I knew he was coming out of the game. I'm like, I'm going to go jump in the pool. I guess I was in the pool a little bit too long because when I came out, it was 6-1. I was like, oh, sick, awesome, amazing. What the fuck happened? And then you look back and you're like, oh, you didn't give yourself a chance to be in this game.
But that was the problem. It was a timidness. It was trepidation by this Mets team. Where you should have come into
like
the series.
They were the team fucking 10 games back. That's what they acted like.
But it was the opposite. The Braves did force the issue by, again, we're gonna mix and match our starting pitchers. We make sure we get our 3 guys in the series. Like, what are you gonna do about it? Mets were like, nothing.
That was so lame and such a weird thing that they did, and like a crazy in June move. That would have been classic Mets, honestly, back in the day. But it worked. And maybe that was the right call. And now I can't talk shit on it because they fucking shoved it. They shoved it, and we looked like ass.
The fact that we just won 6 in a row and now lost 6 in a row is so fucking stupid. Let the entire division lead go away. Going to play the Phillies now. Like, God, this sucks. They played so bad. And it's like, it's not that I'm not confident going into the series. We won't even have a starting pitcher for Friday because I was supposed to be Justin Hageman when he came in this game. It's going to be an Apple TV, national television, be covering that game for Roto World. It's going to be great against Zach Wheeler. And then Canning and Peterson the next 2 days, where it's like, and I also want to talk about this because now it seems like that's going to wind up being Frankie Montas, at least for bulk innings on Friday. He's looked horrible in his rehab stint. Terrible. I think he might be hurt because everything is a tick lower. All the movement of all of his pitches is different. He's giving up home runs left and right. It's like, what's going on here? Like, the only thing that Frankie Montas has right now is his fastball has a slightly better shape, but he's throwing his fastball. Last year it's 96.5. The Brewers, it's 95 miles an hour right now. Splitter has different movement profile. His slider is a mile per hour slower. His cutter's a mile and a half slower. His sinker is a mile and a half slower. Everything's moving a little bit less in every direction. It's like, what? I know we need him right now because of the injuries, but like, what the hell's going to happen? It's also much less extension. He has about 4-5 inches less of extension in every single pitch as well. It seems like this is a guy that had an injury that might not have been fully recovered from the injury, trying to get back from the injury, and the team might need him to come back from the injury. It doesn't seem like he's ready to come back from the injury.
Shout out to a friend of the podcast, Jake Brown. This was a hilarious tweet. Montes may have just put together the worst 30-day stretch of rehab starts in the history of baseball. I think he's got like 34 earned runs in the month. Like I know we don't care normally about rehab starts, but now that he's going to come up and pitch, it's like, oh shit, this stuff looks bad. Everything looks worse. This is a concern. Is this the first major botch of the David Stearns era where you're like, yeah, why did we jump the gun on Frankie Montes?
Well, is the botch or it's just that the guy got hurt early in spring training and now he didn't recover properly?
I think he was hurt before spring training, technically, wasn't he?
I guess that probably is true. But again, like we don't care about spring training results until we can see this stuff at AAA. Be like, this stuff looks really, really bad. But again, also, there's that thing in the back of my mind where it's like, what is David Stearns shot with these reclamation project pitchers? Until Frankie Montes steps foot in the major leagues, he's batting 1,000 on reclamation starting pitchers. There's been no misses yet. So if this is the first miss, I get if you wind up going 5 for 6, that's okay with me at the end of the day.
I'll take 5 for 6.
Sucks it's happening at this exact moment, but I don't know what's going to happen. Like I really don't know. Again, that was a soft telling you guys what starting pitchers were. Question mark / Frankie Montes against Zach Wheeler, Griffin Canning against McAble. Abel's pretty fun. And then Sunday Night Baseball. Hopefully we're chilling watching that one. David Peterson versus Jesus Luzardo, lefty ace off. And then we get the Braves again right after that, where it's like, this is it. Like we kept making the jokes, like this was the start of the season. This was when things really start to matter. The Mets pissed themselves. The season just began, and the Mets are 0-3. And that's not a good place to be against your rivals, who were dead in the fucking water, and you gave them life.
And you know what's crazy? You win one game in the series, you only let the Braves get one game in the division.
Once, exactly. That's why Tuesday's so fucking
different.
important.
Feels so different, but the fact.
At the end of the game on Wednesday, Keith was saying that. They were like, now the Braves are guaranteed to get one game here. One game's not a big deal this part in the season with how back they are. You win the game tomorrow, easy peasy, because a guy like Keith, old school guy, he knows how hard it is to sweep another team. He also knows how hard it is to sweep a good team. Also, he knows how hard it is to sweep a good team that's also your rival. The fact that they went bang, 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 fucked this whole thing up. This team is so alive right now. You're tied with the Phillies. You play the Braves again next week. We said this was a very important stretch to get to the All-Star break to kind of like put a bow on this, put a ribbon on this really good first half. Don't have that anymore. Now you're kind of scratching and clawing to get yourself back to the spot you felt like you were about 2 weeks ago where, again, we played dog shit teams for about 3 weeks straight. Luckily, we beat them nonstop as we have to do against bad teams. But this feels more like the team we saw lose series against the Yankees and the Red Sox than the team we saw beat the shit out of the Rockies, Nationals, and then beat the Dodgers.
Yes. No, there's a little. We thought
we got rid of that malaise. Now this malaise feels like it's dead front and center.
The June swoon's a little late. I mean, it just came a little bit later than it normally does because the Mets love a June swoon. I will say this. If the confidence level in the Mets going into Atlanta was 90% that we were like how good we were, 90% confidence, like I think still in the back of our heads we're like, when is the pitching gonna take a step back? I think that was always a thought.
We've said that openly though.
Yeah, I think now I'm at like 60-70% confidence of what I think about this team because this series really did open my eyes to just like there are glaring holes right now and they're not as good as maybe I thought they were.
Do you really think they're not as good as you thought they were? How good did you think they were?
I thought they were one of the 4 best teams in Major League Baseball. I think they're now one of the 8 best teams in Major League Baseball.
But I think that's also a fine recalibration because wouldn't you have said that like on opening day?
Sure.
And don't we always say you can't really take a good couple of months to change the perspective of a team?
But it's no fun to go backwards. I don't want to go backwards. We were moving forwards. I was like, are we one of the best teams in baseball? No, we're not. We're not there yet. Not right now. Not in the current state of this team.
More players have to hit well. Like someone like Bailey, Vientos, Mauricio, one of those guys, Alvarez, one of those guys has to put their foot down and be like, I'm going to be a good hitter. Because
begging.
Besides from this 2 weeks of Francisco Lindor where he's playing with a broken toe, those guys at the top are doing their job. Like Brandon Nimmo has had some bad moments, but he's still been good. Juan Soto's been great. Pete Alonso's been great. Francisco Lindor before the broken toe has been great. We need 2, and Jeff McNeil actually also has been great. There's like 1-2 other guys that have to step up. And
they don't even have to be great. They just have to be okay.
Not that those guys were perfect in this series, but those guys were at least good enough to give this team a chance to win a game or 2. More guys just have to do something. And this pitching was due to snap away. And that's happening right now. There's going to need to be some real good massaging. Someone's going to have to do something crazy to make up for this loss. But, just need pitchers.
Here's the last question I'm going to leave you with. How long do the Mets continue to have hitting problems and continue to not hit with runners in scoring position before Eric Chavez and or Jeremy Barnes is on the chopping block? How much longer can we see this? It's been almost half a season. The Mets are one of the worst teams in that stat.
I think they would have to drop to third in the division for one of those guys to get fired.
Wow. Okay, that's drastic.
But I'm saying, like, what are you going to say? Like, this team that's still in the top 10 in baseball in run score per game, like, you're going to fire the hitting coach when they well above 500. Like, that's crazy optics. That makes it look weird. That's only something that we on the inside, being disgustingly sick in the head, would be like, fire the hitting coach. We're 15 games over 500.
True.
If you're a Pirates fan, you'd be like, fuck you guys. Like, are you joking? You want to fire a hitting coach?
All right, fair.
Do you see what's actually happening right now? Like, that's something that we're too close to actually be able to act upon this with realism. Like, I saw a great post in the Mets community, where if you guys are not in the Mets community, what a beautiful cesspool for negativity that is.
Oh yeah, it's so negative.
It was a post that was made 3 minutes after the game ended last night. Shout them out for that. Should the Mets fire Eric Chavez and Jeremy Barnes? 87% to 13%. On like 1,000 votes, where it's like, perfect. That's exactly what we're looking for a team. Again, still 15 games over 500. But again, also playing poorly. Probably a little bit worse, at least feeling-wise, than the record says at this moment.
Yeah, definitely. We don't feel like we're 15 games above 500 after these last 6 games where we play competitive baseball teams and we shit down our leg, like you said. But I don't know. I've had enough. That's like 40 minutes of us ranting. We haven't done that in quite some time. We got anything else here to wrap this one up? Do we got Frankie Peppers?
My phone's in the other room, so I'll get to check Frankie Peppers. Otherwise, just like talking about the Phillies for a little bit before we play them this weekend. McAble's a good young pitcher. Guy's command under control over the last few years. He's got a bunch of junk. Not a bunch of junk, because he still has a good fastball, but it's like a curveball, changeup, slider. He was always the guy that couldn't throw strikes in the minor leagues. Somehow he's in the major leagues right now, still throwing strikes, even though even this year in the minor leagues, he wasn't able to throw strikes. He's kind of been overshadowed by Andrew Painter a lot the last few years, but he still has really good stuff. He's a big, lanky kid. Like, they're fun. This Phillies team actually is playing well right now. They're doing a very annoying closing tandem, where it's just a mix of Orion Kerkering and Matt Strahm, who's like, you're facing lefties, you're facing righties in the 9th inning. Whichever you're facing more of, we're going to see you. And we just lost 6 in a row. We've given them the in to get back in the division. Still a good team. I don't know why a lot of Mets fans have believed this Phillies team was dead in the water. This Phillies team's fucking awesome. They had crazy drama this week. Did you see the drama this week?
Yeah, Nick Castellanos getting benched by Rob Thompson after being removed for a defensive replacement late in the game. Rob Thompson also snapped his consecutive game started streak, which was also crazy with a benching after making comments to Rob Thompson that were deemed, what was the word?
I think he said inappropriate.
Inappropriate, yes. Inappropriate comments to Rob Thompson. 1, what do you think he said? 2, I mean, that's even more frustrating that the Phillies felt like there was some turmoil and the Mets still shit down their leg.
So he probably says to Rob Thompson, go fuck yourself. Like, you've never taken me out of a game for defense. Now you're doing it, even though I'm a bad defender. And the funniest thing about this, well, 2 funny things. 1, Rob Thompson busted up, I think with Nick Castellanos, was the second longest actively played game streak in Major League Baseball, behind Pete Alonso, I believe. 2, the Philly game on Wednesday, they were on the ropes in the 9th inning against the Marlins. They had a big rally against Matt Strahm, tying runs on base or tying run at the plate. Nick Fortes is the hot shot to right field. Then Castellanos makes a leaping catch into the wall to end the game. And then he makes the catch, he takes his shirt off, he shows his entire chest, seemingly back to Rob Thompson, being like, defensive sub my ass, which was a funny moment for the Phillies. But, I mean, it's easy to get hot when you have series against the Blue Jays and the Marlins. They also won a series against the Cubs. That was right after getting swept by the Pirates. So, again, this is a team that's playing well, but also not a team that's impenetrable. Trey Turner's hitting really well. Kyle Schwarber's hitting really well. I don't
Harper's
think
not
they're
back
going
yet.
Harper could be activated this series. I'm sure, knowing Bryce Harper, he will be activated on Friday, but he's not active right now. You might get at least a game of this series without Bryce Harper. It's a fine team. Alec Boehm's actually hitting well, so don't say dog shit about him right now. Max Kepler gets walked every single night. Similarly to the Mets, the bottom of this order, you got a shot. I mean, we're not going to see Christopher Sanchez in this series, who's still pitching really well, 2.87 ERA in the season. This is a team that you have to beat if you want to go where you want to go. So this is a good opportunity this weekend, going into their house. You haven't been to their house all season. It's not an easy house to play in. Please try and beat them.
Yeah, please. I'm begging you. Let me see a win out here, please. I'm at the sports book making bets, and I'm feeling terrible. I can't do this anymore.
All right, I'm gonna go check on Frankie Peppers.
No, you know what? Apologies to Frankie Peppers. No Frankie Peppers to the Mets win.
All right, that's fair. No Frankie Peppers to the Mets win.
No Frankie Peppers to the Mets win.
I think he would have had some nice words. I think it was some nice words after this one.
I know Frankie Peppers would have had such eloquent words. He would have been great vibes, but I am making an executive decision. We only get Frankie Peppers when the team's playing not the worst baseball that they've ever played. So that's a call out to the Mets specifically. If you want to hear the voice, of Frankie Peppers, if you want freedom on the airwaves once again, you got to win some baseball games here. But I think that's it for this episode. Right?
Yeah, wait,
Anything
side
else?
note, also just some show maintenance.
Oh,
we
yes.
have a store now. We got merch for you
Yes.
guys. As you can see, if you're watching on YouTube, down below, we got hats, we got quarter zips, we got sweatshirts, we got t-shirts, we got mugs. Appreciate you guys helping us out. Appreciate you guys taking a look at that stuff.
If you get any, tweet at us, tag us on Instagram, Pinterest, I don't know, whatever you've got, anything. I don't know. Maybe Bella uses Pinterest. I know we have one female listener, so maybe she uses Pinterest. Put them on Pinterest. I don't know. Anything that you guys get Mets'd up wise, make sure you send it to us. We'd love to repost it and share it with all our followers as well. And we do, again, appreciate any of the support that you guys show to the show as always.
It's totally just now. It's all decompressing after the 45 minutes of ranting. We are going to do a Mets'd meetup before the July 5th game against the Yankees at Citi Field. If you guys are in the Discord, we'll put some details about that there. If you're not in the Discord, check the description of this episode, this video. The link to join the Discord will be below. But if anyone's going to that July 5th game at Citi Field against the Yankees, we'll be doing a little Mets'd meetup. So keep an eye on that.
Yeah, 100%. Otherwise, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for listening and watching this episode of the Mets'd Up Podcast. Make sure you follow us on all our social media at Mets'd Up on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Subscribe to the Mets'd Up Podcast YouTube channel for the video version of this. And if you are listening, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, drop us a rating, drop us a review, download, and subscribe. You can follow James on social media at
James Shiano, baby.
I'm Giraffe Neck Mark with a C. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We will catch you guys all after the Phillies series. Please, dear God, just win one game at least. I need to see a win again.
Just win a game. All right. See you guys later. Let's go, Mets.